Scientific study in the area of endocrinology continues to reveal new hormones, new functions for known hormones, and insight into the complex interactions between hormones. In this topic, we will review some of the well-established endocrine glands and tissues, some of the hormones they produce, their target tissues, and a simple function for each. To begin your study, click the name of a gland. The pineal gland produces the amine hormone melatonin. Click on the enlarged pineal gland to review the functions of melatonin. Although the functions of melatonin in humans are not completely understood, studies suggest that melatonin helps coordinate body activities with light-dark cycles. To study another gland, click its name. The pituitary gland has two major lobes. The anterior lobe is glandular tissue and produces 6 well-understood hormones. The posterior lobe is neural tissue that releases 2 hormones produced by neurons in the hypothalamus. We will study the pituitary gland in detail in Topic 4 and review the posterior pituitary hormones on the next page. Click on the enlarged gland to briefly review the anterior pituitary hormones. The peptide hormones of the anterior pituitary include thyroid-stimulating hormone, also called thyrotropin, follicle-stimulating hormone, and luteinizing hormone, also called the gonadotropins, adrenocorticotropic hormone, also called corticotropin, growth hormone, and prolactin. Click the anterior lobe of the pituitary gland to review the target tissues and functions of these hormones. TSH stimulates secretion of thyroid hormones by the thyroid gland. In females, FSH stimulates maturation of the ovarian follicle and production of estrogen. LH triggers ovulation and stimulates production of estrogen and progesterone. In males, FSH stimulates sperm production and LH stimulates production of testosterone. ACTH stimulates the secretion of glucocorticoids and other hormones of the adrenal cortex. In addition to their individual effects, these 4 tropic hormones, thyrotropin, the gonadotropins, and corticotropin, help maintain size of their target glands. Growth hormone stimulates growth and energy metabolism. Most of the growth effects of growth hormone require intermediary proteins called somatomedins, or insulin-like growth factors. They are produced by many target tissues, but released into the bloodstream primarily by the liver. Both insulin-like growth factors and growth hormone are required for growth of cartilage, hence full adult height of the skeleton. Metabolic effects of growth hormone involve mobilizing fat stores and thereby sparing glucose for use by glucose-dependent tissues. PRL stimulates breast development and lactation in females. Although present in males, its action is uncertain. To study another gland, click its name. The thyroid gland produces 2 very different hormones. The follicular cells produce thyroid hormone, an amine, and the parafollicular, or C cells, produce calcitonin, a peptide. We will review TH first and study it in detail in Topic 4. The large follicles in the gland are filled with a protein colloid called thyroglobulin. They are unique in the endocrine system and provide for storage of large amounts of thyroglobulin from which thyroid hormone is made. Click the follicular cells to briefly review the targets and functions of thyroid hormone. Thyroid hormone regulates many metabolic functions. Thyroid hormone is essential for growth. Thyroid hormone is essential for development of the nervous system. Thyroid hormone is essential for nervous system function in adults. Thyroid hormone amplifies the activity of the sympathetic nervous system. Click the gray histology image to continue. Click the C cells to review the targets and functions of calcitonin. Calcitonin inhibits the activity of osteoclasts, thereby preventing bone resorption and release of calcium. This lowers blood calcium concentration. It protects the skeleton from excess resorption, but it is not active in the daily regulation of blood calcium. To study another gland, click its name. The parathyroid glands produce the peptide parathyroid hormone. Chief cells are the source of parathyroid hormone. The function of oxyphil cells is not known. The chief cells form clusters and cords, a common arrangement of secretory cells in endocrine glands. Click the chief cells to review the target organs and functions of parathyroid hormone. Declining blood calcium levels cause the parathyroid glands to secrete parathyroid hormone. It is the primary regulator of blood calcium levels. Number 1. Parathyroid hormone acts directly on the kidney to increase reabsorption of calcium. The kidneys control moment-to-moment blood calcium levels. Number 2. Parathyroid hormone increases resorption of bone. This increases blood calcium levels. Number 3. Parathyroid hormone promotes the final conversion of vitamin D to its active form, the steroid hormone calcitriol, that increases uptake of calcium from the intestine. Ultimately, calcium balance depends on absorption of calcium from the intestine. Note that the rising blood calcium levels act as a negative feedback signal to decrease parathyroid hormone secretion. Blood calcium levels control parathyroid hormone levels. To study another gland, click its name. The paired adrenal glands consist of a large outer region called the adrenal cortex and a small central region called the adrenal medulla. The cortex secretes 3 families of steroid hormones: mineralocorticoids, glucocorticoids, and androgens. Note that each is produced by a different group of cells. The medulla secretes amine hormones known as catecholamines. Click the zona glomerulosa to review targets and functions of the mineralocorticoids. Cells of the zona glomerulosa produce hormones called mineralocorticoids because they affect salt balance. Aldosterone is the most important. Among its functions are sodium retention and potassium excretion by the kidneys. Click the gray histology image to continue. Click the zona fasciculata, zona reticularis to review the target. Cells of both zona fasciculata and zona reticularis produce a family of hormones called glucocorticoids because they regulate glucose metabolism. This family includes cortisol, cortisone, and corticosterone. Only cortisol is secreted in significant amounts in humans. We will study cortisol in detail in Topic 5. In addition to regulating energy metabolism, cortisol regulates the immune system and facilitates the stress response. Click cortisol to continue. Cells of both zona fasciculata and zona reticularis also produce a family of hormones called androgens. Androgens are male sex hormones that include androstenedione and testosterone. Active secretion at puberty in both sexes causes the early growth spurt and appearance of axillary and pubic hair. Androgens are also responsible for sex drive in females. Click the gray histology image to continue. Click the adrenal medulla to review targets and functions of the catecholamines. The adrenal medulla is a modified sympathetic ganglion that produces a family of amine hormones called catecholamines. The 2 main hormones are epinephrine and norepinephrine. Epinephrine is 4 or 5 times more abundant than norepinephrine. We will study it in detail in Topic 5. The catecholamines are important during the fight or flight response when immediate physical action is called for.